All right, so welcome to another amazing board meeting for ABA and the CTE program and all of our amazing programs that we have. It is October 9th at 10:39 a.m. We have a few people on today, and then we're going to have a speaker around 11 a.m. to talk about a program that he's looking to partner with us with. So before we get started, I'm just gonna go through just a few things, and then Hasefi, I will pass it over to you to just briefly talk about the email. If you guys were not able to read the email, kind of open that up while we're gonna go through it in a bit. And then I also emailed you an outline for our speaker at 11 so that you guys can see both of those documents.
Did you send
So I just sent it, like it said 1 minute ago. But I replied to our email that says advisory board committee meeting October the 9th. So a few things. Glenn did send out an email. So there's going to be like a meet and greet kind of fair. It says a second annual media community swap meet tailgating party. So that will be cool if a few of us can join. I'll put that in my calendar. It is next Saturday, the 16th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'll also make sure I send that out to everybody. It was a lot of information. I'm going to actually try to find a flyer because people like flyers instead of reading a lot of text. Sometimes they just like something in their face. But I'll be sure that I send that out. Also a reminder about the COVID contest. Please make sure that you're sharing that with your students and literally anybody that you know, because that is money out there for students to submit for the COVID safety viral arts competition. And ABA, myself will be part of the judging committee for that. The deadline is October the 31st. So please make sure you're sharing that. That'll be a great opportunity for students to just get more hands-on experience and then get some money for just doing some creative activities. We mentioned having some career fairs coming up. We also talked about having some speakers inside of classrooms. So I do want to just go ahead, set some dates so that I can send it out to the rest of the committee and let them know, hey, these are the dates that we have open. I'm looking for 2 or 3 speakers per classroom kind of thing. And then also set a date for a career fair. So I know that's a lot. I just said like a mouthful. But right now I know that Murphy at Roosevelt, Pulley at Carnahan, they have their juniors and seniors who are in the internship program. Their days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and then alternative Fridays, but we're not going to try to shoot for a Friday because it's like it goes back and forth. So I think that we're going to try to shoot for having what do we have? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 more weeks before November. So let's try to plan for at least 2 speaking like events with the classrooms, and I think that could be virtual or in person. Yeah, but we would like it to be in person if they could, and like bring things and talk, but if you can't, that's totally fine. So an example would be, this is just an example, if Tim was going to talk to a class and he couldn't be there, so he'll probably join on Murphy's team meets or something. So he'll talk to the class and I'll probably be there with him and like show off the Sheldon space with him. So he doesn't have to worry about that. I'll just be walking around with the camera and he can talk to the students and things like that. It's just good to have some presentation in front of them. They love visuals and things like that. It gets them a little more excited, as you all know. I would like to probably plan that to give students and people enough time. I would probably like to do one on October. Oh, and Sonda, when is your class?
Well, the class that I was looking at
It's Mondays and Wednesdays, and it's a small class that starts at 1:35 of seniors. And well, I have a first period and a second period that are juniors and seniors. That is, I wouldn't mind having someone talk about their different careers or how they got into their own career, or maybe
Okay.
doing that particular presentation to that group.
And then that
So,
time is, what time is that?
8:05 to 9:30, first period for me. And then second period will be 10 to 11:30. And then the fourth period is 1:30 to 3.
Mm,
And it's probably going to have to be virtual because I don't think we can really have anybody come in yet.
Okay. So that's on, you said Mondays and Wednesdays.
Monday, Wednesdays, yeah.
So 8 to 9, 10 to 11, then 1 to 3.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
those are
1:30, 1:35, but the times, let me give you the times again because
okay.
really on this 8:05 to 9:30. And if that runs over, that's fine because we keep them in. It's supposed to have advisory, but they leave those students in there to write
Okay.
down. Then
Okay.
the second period is 10 o'clock till 11:30.
Okay.
And then 1:35 till 3. And if you don't have to be right at that time, but
Okay. And then Murphy, what are you guys? You guys have them all day, so that's like 9 till 3 or something.
Yeah, officially we got them I got them from basically 10 to 3. Police got them pretty much from 9 to 2.
Okay.
So we got overlap in there, but there are some new guidelines coming out on having live presenters coming into the buildings. Some guy, Dr. Brown or somebody office is in charge of that. My assistant principal told me a couple of days ago that I needed to check the downtown before
Having
come
people
in.
talk.
So
is that's including virtually as well?
No, virtual is fine.
Okay.
If anything in person, it's like you got to go through the volunteer program. You have to get cleared. I think get a police, the whole police check thing, and there's also a COVID piece now. So
Okay.
I'll get more information on that, and I'll get it in writing so we can see exactly what they're talking about.
Okay. I will shoot to have
What was your classroom hours again? Did you say 8 to 3?
Mine, yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
So it's because they normally leave the building and go to like different areas and things.
well, mine is officially 10 to 3. Okay. Because my first period on 8 days is a planning period. So if it got down to you coming over, you can come. You'd be able to come anytime to do setup or whatever you needed to do. But like I say, we just got to get on top of what they're asking now as far as who actually comes into a classroom.
And then you
All
said,
right. So you go ahead.
Key, earlier you said they had that Babatu and
Pulley.
Fully had interns, and you gave some dates for those.
So that's the day. That's what we're talking about. Those days. So that's Monday, Wednesday, and alternative Fridays. That's the day. That's what he's talking about with those long class periods because that's their internship program.
Right.
So they're allowed to like leave the space and go touring and stuff like that.
And we can get transportation to anywhere within the city limits.
And then what is the notice that you have to give them before leaving?
As soon as possible.
Okay, so I'll try to
Soon
get
as
that.
confirm it, sent Corp, communicate with them. So yeah, as soon as we work out a tentative schedule, I just submit it to what's his name, Tony Maltia.
Okay. All right. So I'll get that together. I am looking for the dates for speaking. So I have the 20th and the 27th. So I want to probably have 2 groups out So I'll have, yeah, it depends on if you guys can leave or not, Murphy. If you can't,
We can leave on our days. Like I say, right now, all we have to do is schedule it. I talked to the bus people,
mhm.
and all they need is the dates. And
Okay.
they're ready to go with buses. So, like I say, we that part is cool. Yep. So
All
once
right.
we schedule it, I send it to them.
So I might, yeah, I'll get that together because I'll probably have you and Pulley go out to a place and then have people talk to Sonda's class. And then probably get a class together at Summoner as well. And that's going to be, both of those will be virtually. I think that will be the plan. So I'll get that together for you guys
So
for
you said
location.
future dates for the 2nd and the 22nd of November?
No, for October. So it's the 20th and the 27th.
Now, the 27th, I want you to know, I'm gonna be out. I have a doctor's appointment.
Okay. So Wednesday, the 20th. So I'll shoot to make sure I have your stuff ready for the 20th to have at least 2 speakers. And I might have 2 different speakers because you have 3 different class periods. So I will plan that. And then Murphy, I'll just plan for you and Pulley to be out on the 20th at location and then also on the 27th at location. And I'll do.
27th World Chess too. So I say.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for telling me. So the
calendar.
what? And you saw it. You saw it before me. Okay, so the 27th will probably just be a speakers virtually. Okay. And then I'll make sure on the 27th, it's going to be speakers virtually for Roosevelt, Carnahan, and Summoner.
Okay.
And then on the 20th, we're going to have 2 or 3 virtual speakers for Sonda's class. And then Murphy and Pulley will have on location for their students to go see a place. I have to figure out which one we're going to do for that. And then
Classifying that as the career fair?
no,
Okay.
no, those are just they're allowed to leave on those days. So we'll just go have them kind of do tours, kind of like what we did at the Winfield Foundation on Jefferson. Like we went to go tour the place and the kids got to see we got to see everything, but the kids can't see everything.
That Moreland's place?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How's that go? How is that coming along?
They just finished their film. They just finished their film program. And we covered a lot of that with like STL TV and stuff. But I think that he's just doing a lot of stuff outside of his actual building and hosting events and stuff. I think he's just in fundraiser mode. So I'll connect with him and see if we can probably do that on the 20th, because that's a nice space for students. And then it's kind of walking distance from Roosevelt. It can be. When I was growing up, I've walked to Roosevelt before, but not. I'm talking about after school hours and stuff, because he has it open after school for some students. So, so there's that. And then for the actual career fair, let's look in to November. I think that's way more than enough time for us. Let's shoot for probably the 3rd week in November. So that week of the 15th. When do you guys have like Thanksgiving break? Do you guys have another break in November?
I don't think so. Let me see.
We have just Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
And then we have Thanksgiving break, that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
Wow, that's weird. Thanksgiving is not the last week in November this year.
Yeah, that is weird.
Isn't it the 25th?
Got the 25th, yeah.
And that is, yeah.
'Cause then you come back to Hanukkah on Monday, and then
That's
wow,
it.
30.
You don't have a lot of time.
Where did the year go?
Is it possible to look at February versus November? You think we can do that and have it, pull it off by November, third week in November?
Yeah, because all it would be is just like the people that we know in our context
okay.
coming and setting up a table.
Awesome.
So we don't have to do anything like crazy. I just want to make sure that like with the new rules and stuff, documentations are in, and everything. Because I know Carnahan wanted to host something before Thanksgiving break for sure for their students. So that's kind of why maybe we should do the
I think
22nd.
we need a career fair for us, but also for kind of help support CTE
Mm-hmm.
in general in the district. As I was at this what the district has is something called High School Here I Come. And that's supposed to be for middle schoolers who are coming into high school.
Okay.
Now they do a real big thing with that, but they snub the comprehensive
Non-magnet schools.
They love magnet schools, and they everything is focused on them.
Mhm.
I went over there. They had us in a room, the door closed, so we had to stand out in the hallway, try to flag people down, and the people going by us said they had appointments with magnet schools. So it's some crazy stuff going on in there. However, the woman that's over that, Lori Willis, I am going to speak with her because she can actually make it a district-wide event. You know,
Okay.
she can coordinate that. So I'll check with her.
Yeah, can you get that
after
going and
Yeah.
then touch bases with me on the 13th? So next week, the 13th. Try to shoot her. I mean, if you can send her email like now, and then
Okay.
she'll get back to you hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, and then you could let me know something by the
Right.
13th.
Okay.
So we have a few more things to go over. Josefi, I'll have you talk after our presenter comes and talk. So that I did email you. It's called the U-Turn project. So if you could open that, he's just gonna talk about this program. It's another youth program. It's something that I think that we should be involved in. It's more about having the students be active and taking accountability of their actions and the things that they're doing inside of school. So it'll be good. Yes. Let me message him.
I got a couple question marks on them.
So he actually started this I want to say 2015, but don't quote me on that because he can actually break it down. And I'm involved with a few of his
I see it.
his things around St. Louis. His organization is called Protest That. And what they do is just talk about homicides in the city of St. Louis, really highlighting the children that are victims because of gun violence and other things in St. Louis. But that is one program I work with him for. But this U-Turn program is more of like, there's nowhere for the students to go anymore. There's not a place like where they can hang out and stuff. They kind of make that obsolete, and you have to have like a chaperone and stuff. And that's why they're gathering downtown, because that's the only place that they can actually go and hang out and things like that. So he's actually here. So let me let him in and I'll introduce him to you all. Cedric, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go somewhere where I can turn this video on.
Okay. Make sure I got this.
Also where I can turn this video on. Such a hectic day. Hey, you stupid talk about so please don't use that. Okay. All right.
So I did send, these are our board members. I think we're missing probably 2 other people. So you have Hasefi, you have Charles Murphy, you have Thomasina, you have Sonda, and then also myself, the president of ABA. I did send them your kind of an outline, but it's not the official one. It's one from when you created the U-Turn project, which was some years ago. So I just want to give you the floor, and we're going to mute ourselves so that you can just talk about the program. Well, talk a little about who you are, what you do, the program, and then we'll probably have questions afterwards. Okay.
All right. I can start.
Yeah, man.
Well, first I just want to say, good morning to everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is CSharp. I am Hip Hop Artist of the Year, Song of the Year winner, first youth ambassador for the city of St. Louis, and it's one of those things to have a unique opportunity at working with the city so closely, and getting to some of the things done. So the reason why I'm here today is because I'm asking for the support, from the nonprofit to launch this U-Turn project. I have a mental behavioral health initiative, if you will, to kind of help get our young people thinking a different way and helping them all make a decision at the same time. That the culture that we're falling into and the activities that we're doing to express ourselves just need to cease and desist. And, the only way to do that is to make a decision that, this is not who we are anymore. This is not the culture we're going to embody anymore. So with this U-Turn project, Y-O-U-Turn, it really emphasizes the U in the turnaround. It really emphasizes the U that is necessary to be influential and to be an example. So, we have an opportunity to work with the city on some potential funding. And also, we have an opportunity to really raise our credibility with the city by having the support of the public safety department. And that right there, I think is going to launch, the entire thing. The vision is to get, into the schools in some type of informal way to get our youth to address the issues that they're dealing with, that they're facing, but also, get them to make a decision, right? And incentivize that decision. The funding is ultimately to help incentivize the behavior of these schools as a collective. So I'm not a 501c3. I don't have any nonprofit credentials or anything like that. So, the alignment of us, is the reason why, we have the opportunity at the funding. And I just want to let the nonprofit know that, hey, I'm willing to support in any way that I possibly can. And if there's anything that I can help to do to propel or accelerate, what you're doing as an agency, I got your back. But I would love to see if this attachment, if this alignment right here could be something that could potentially just be another layer on the social issues and the behavioral issues that we're dealing with to help prevent our kids, from making the mistakes that land them in jail, And so with that being said, I just want to say thank you to Kieris, for bringing me to the table and getting me an opportunity to speak in front of you all. And hopefully you see the potential in it and we can go from there.
Yeah, we can just open the floor up for questions.
Okay. Good morning. I'm really excited about what you're saying. Number one. And number two, my name is Thomasina Clark. I just set up a meeting with the principal at Sumner High School to try to bring something like you into the building. Is that what you're looking to do?
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is how can we, so one of the visions that I have is we have a lot of our kids that sag their pants, right? So how can we get them all to stand up? The ones who are sagging their pants, all of you stand up. And at the same time, pull them up. Instead of just targeting somebody that you think has potential or targeting somebody who is a knucklehead, let's get them all to make the decision at the same time. And from this point forward, can we decide that we are no longer going to present ourselves like that? And for those who habitually do it, can y'all hold each other accountable for keeping yourself together, for keeping your pants and stuff like that together, right? I just feel like there's too much coming down on kids. And until they start making it uncool in the culture, then that's when it's going to change, So that's just a vision that I have for it. And but yeah, getting into the schools and being able to talk to them in a way to where it registers. There's certain yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, I was going to ask, how long is your program? If you came in on a Monday, how many days throughout the week would you come or could you come? In the era of COVID, would this be something that you could use as a virtual thing, even though it's live at the moment, because they're really not letting people in the buildings? So could you do this virtually, but at the same time have feedback with the youth? Two questions. First one, how many hours a day? They have 90-minute classes a day. How many days can you fill that 90 minutes a day, and how many days of the week? And keeping in mind that it's COVID, how can you work around that?
Okay, so the vision that we have is maybe like a 1 hour type discussion or type presentation to challenge them, right? So the challenge would be, can we go 30 days without a physical altercation? That's the challenge. Can we go 30 days without a physical altercation? And I want to get 3 schools involved in that. And we all have like a first place prize, second place prize, third place prize, right? But the goal is so that they know that there's something coming in reward to that behavior. I really don't like the whole virtual thing. I would really be hesitant to do that. I guess if I had no other choice, that would probably be the way I do that. But it's got to be something that they feel, something that they see, somebody that's right in front of them, that's able to talk that talk,
And I understand that. I was in conversation with the principal at Sumner this week because they want to present a program to them. It's a video. And I'm thinking, okay, great. We'll all go into the auditorium and we'll watch the video. He said, no, our culture and our climate does not allow us to all assemble in the auditorium. So the best thing for us to do is to do it in individual rooms. Is that how you would see something like that happening?
No, ma'am. It would have been everybody in the same room at the same time, making a decision as a collective, as a group. as a generation almost, you know, because just in messaging, I believe that our kids are not getting the same message. So the ones that you see that are out in the streets doing the mischief are not getting the same message. Why? Because we keep pulling the ones with potential out of that crowd, and we keep pulling the ones with potential out of that circle. And then that isolates them and give them the social anxiety and depression that, you know, they that you see today, because they don't have any friends and all their friends are involved in mischief, right? And so everybody's so hard on them for being good, but they're not saying anything to these kids that they feel like they can't reach. So how can we get them all to make a decision at the same time, you know?
And then Thomasina, I think I can, like, understanding what Cedric is saying, we all know it's more effective in person, but is there capability to do it virtual? Yes, but if we could do it, in person, there's more of an impact and more of a movement that will be going on. So it is possible,
agree with that.
but we do have to also abide by, COVID rules and regulations and things like that when going into St. Louis public schools. Sandra, you can go. Mhm.
Yeah. What, Cedric, what do you mean when you say altercation? Because, in our school, I'm at Deshaun, we have fights. You mean within the school or out? What do you mean when you say altercation?
Within the school. Within the
Okay.
school, that's resulting in a suspension, in-school suspension, or some type of criminal or justice response.
Okay. And I think that's good, and I think that's what's needed definitely at our school. What kind of incentives are you looking to give?
Okay.
them?
So far, our first place prize, and I say that 3 times. Our
Mhm.
first place prize, what we're looking at is either working with Nike or working with Vans to secure shoes.
Mhm.
Okay, and all different sizes of typical high school kids,
Mhm.
and they will have an opportunity to get a pair of those shoes in their size, either for the next semester or next school year or however it goes. Second place prize would be opportunities at internships with a company called Unheard Media LLC. So they have, opportunities at program directing, podcasting, other little virtual means of social media, right? Virtual media. And then the third place prize is we would get a DJ to just kind of DJ during the lunch hour, just something simple, something that kind of lightens the mood, something that kind of gives a new flavor, just, something, something that is out of the ordinary. So it's a rank and file type thing. Of course, we want no fights. I mean, we can't, prevent that, but we also will be investing in articles of clothing for faculty. So faculty could be wearing reminders of like hoodies, t-shirts. Counselors could be wearing reminders, hoodies, t-shirts. We'll probably get like a banner or something like that, a 30-day banner, so they can always scratch out another day so they can keep up with the progress. So there's ways that we want to incentivize and also get them to interact with the whole project itself.
Okay, me personally, I think it sounds good. I think it was at the Shine. I think my principal would listen to something that you're talking about to put in place, just to let you all know. I think that's something that she may even go with. So maybe, I don't know if you could bring, or I could share this with my principal and let her make that decision in terms of, seeing if we can find out if we can get an in-person type of I guess a person in person to present to the group in the auditorium, to the school in the auditorium, and then, maybe the principal can figure out what kind of, how we can measure, incentives or measure whatever we're going to measure to get the kids to comply. I think it's a good opportunity myself, especially.
And we want to do 2 extensions of it, right? So if we can get 3 schools in the mind frame of no fights in 30 days, then we want to get another 3 schools, right? With the same type of thing. So now we got 6 schools, with no fights in 60 days. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, I know that is the epitome of optimism. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we have to go in with,
And that's a
and we
problem
just,
at our school, the fights.
yeah, I know it's the epitome of optimism, but I do think that that's what we have to go in with, and we just can't say, well, we know what's gonna happen. We got to give it a shot.
And then give me one moment, Murphy. Thomasina Celeste at Sumner, she's also a part of this program and working on the fine details and stuff. So ideally, it would be great if we did have that one person or one leader in each school to just make sure they're checking on and things like that. So Cedric was talking about the t-shirts and the reminders and the banners, to have one person just kind of, keep up the good work and just give them that positive energy and positive reinforcement. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if I got the answer to the question. My apologies. I know you said it was 1 hour a day. How many days a week is it?
It's not 1 hour a day. What we'll do is it'll take probably 1 hour to initiate the challenge and why we're doing it, right? And then from that day, they will be challenged from 30 days from that point.
But when you say
So-
challenge, are you coming back, or is anyone coming back to, I know you say Celeste is in the building, but is there someone coming back to continue having dialogue and conversation with the children, with the youth?
If that is something that the school would like, I would not mind doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that, but initially I didn't think about it like that. No, I didn't think about it like it's a weekly type discussion. I didn't think about it.
Reason why I'm saying that is because if you establish a relationship with them,
Okay.
I think you should continue that relationship throughout, instead of just being a one-hit
A
wonder.
one-time hit.
Come in, keep coming back, keep saying stuff, encouraging them, making them feel like, you care.
Right.
That was number one. And then number two, I don't remember what number two was. So.
Well, I have an open mind to number one. And when you tell me whatever number two is, I'll be ready for it.
Okay, at least you can listen to it, right?
Murphy?
Yeah, I want to say number one, the number one thing that needs to happen is what we're doing right now. Listening to each other and getting feedback from the different situations. But number two, we have, for instance, at Roosevelt, we could do it. And I'm not saying that, Sumner's in a different situation so far. Okay. I think even with Sumner, our presence and influence and what we pull together, in other words, we know how to do certain things. I do, Mr. Pulley does, Garris does, and we've done these things. Katsefi, Thomasina, we've been in these buildings doing these things. And to me, once we probably should start with one school. I volunteer Roosevelt because I know, the climate there amongst the administration is supportive of this type of thing. We have these advisory every morning. We try to meet with the different levels, sophomore, junior, and we're putting out exactly those type of challenges.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that fits right in with what we're doing. So we need to have one to start off with, a successful one, and we need to stream it to the other schools. We know how to do virtual. We can do virtual from anywhere to anywhere. Okay. So I also would like to know, are you part of the city's structure now or something? Or is this under the mayor's office? What's the political link up, and so forth with that?
Well, it's good to see you because I haven't seen you since
Uh-oh.
I came and did something in your class. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it was, but
I'm
I
trying
ain't
to
seen
remember
you
too.
since. I'm
But
C
hold
sharp.
on. Yeah. What I need to say is this. You know Tef Poe?
Yeah.
Okay. We working with Tef in Tony Thompson's building.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so all I'm saying is you're a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Bruh, we got our students wrote a song Bag at BAG. And I was just playing it Wednesday night for the high school Here We Come. And it made me realize, wow, that's selling, presenting the program. Um, I can see you coaching a group of youngsters, reviving that spirit, getting them to put something together in the format that they love. Cause I'm
Yeah.
telling you, just playing that back, man. One of the kids that's in it, I got him in my internship right now. He's
Yeah.
still in touch with the people that made that. We need to link up with what you're doing, like you're saying, and be able to come out with a presentation that is, in fact, in that song, they say, I got to pull my pants up, and all those different little things are in there. They're
Right.
already addressed it. Behavior, achievement, and
Right.
grades, BAG. So there's a theme piece
Yeah.
right there. We start in one school, and trust me, we'll make that happen at Sumner.
So there is something that Cedric started a few years ago. I forgot what it's called, but they were in St. Louis Public Schools libraries, and they had students actually come and
That was rap
focus.
101.
Yeah, so they come and focus on music, learning the theories, and then also creating projects. So he had it, like, how many years you do that? Yeah, it's like 5 years that they did that at different public libraries. So the students could come there and use the technology and things there. But Murphy, we'll talk about that again. Hasef, hold on. Hasefi, do you have a question?
I want to weigh in on.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Murphy, mute your mic. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hasefi, there you go.
So CSharp. I was just listening to and thinking about all of the things that everybody said, because one of the things about challenges is just like with football and basketball games, and who got the best school, who reps the best school, so we have two willing schools. We have the Shine and we have Roosevelt. So you got one side and another side of the city. So when you're talking about a challenge, I know you said 3, but even if you had 2 schools that's on the 30-day challenge for not being able to say, whatever, so it's like, and then we have the ability to stream. That it's just like anything else with the social media. Okay, this is the water challenge, this is the whatever challenge. So here's this challenge. We create this challenge with these 2 schools. So you got it. Who's gonna come out the best? Who's gonna come out the winner after these 30 days on this challenge? And then it takes on a life of its own, with us being able to stream it and getting everybody involved. Now, the other thing that I really like, I'll take, for instance, what you put out there, which was about, the sagging and how do we get them to stop. And for the longest, for several years, I used to think about starting something and didn't know how to start it. Was, do you date saggers? And I asked a couple of young men, if you wanted to get with this girl and she said she don't date saggers, would you stop? And each time I asked, the guy was like, yes, I've done it before. And I asked some guys, as a matter of fact, who actually were not sagging at the time. So the way I opened up the conversation was, do you sag other than when I see you? And it was like, yeah, I do, and then that's how that question came about. So, and having this dialogue with these young people that, you know, how we say nobody left behind. So we don't want to just look at the ones who may be interested, like you're saying, you want those at-risk kids, you know. So you have to also think about the at-risk, not just the guys, but the girls. So that we're talking about that. So we're talking to the girls, you asking the question, why do you say, and you know, once you talk about the history of sagging and that, which they all know, but when you start asking the girls, why do you date guys who sag? What do you feel about that? Let's have a conversation with the women, the girls, about how do you really feel about that? You know, so that they can hear themselves. Because, you know, you got to have a reason. And sometimes you're just going along with it. Sometimes you really don't like it. Sometimes it's like, it's cool. Well, whatever. Once you have that dialogue, because I know when you're saying 90 minutes is a long time. You know what I mean? But you got to have an introduction. Then you got to have your engagement. And then you got to have your questions. Then you got to have your launch. You know, so I think I'm very excited about what you're doing. And then plus we have young minds like yours and Tef. You know, I know everybody has their own platform. I don't know what you all's relationship is. At this point in time, though, I'm looking at, we need to have more allegiance. The whole Nellie Murphy Lee thing is kind of like, huh? We don't do that anymore. We need to be moving to a whole nother level, and we need alliances. We need allegiances. So you don't lose yourself. What you do is unite yourself, because you got all different kind of people on all different kind of sets. You got some people gonna follow this way, some people gonna follow that way, but you still got to reach all of them. So I applaud you for what you're doing. I think we can make it work. You got people right here. I'm not in the public school system. When I asked my granddaughter, she was like, no, you ain't gonna be able to hang, because I know you, you know. But I don't, I'm all for it. I'm not in the trenches like you know, Thomasine and Asante. I'm not in the trenches like that. However, I'm all for making it better wherever I can. I'll get in where I fit in. And I like the approach of trying to change the mindset of young people. And I think you have a good formula. And I think we have a platform where we can get it done. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you. And then I know you're not a nonprofit. However, you need to align yourself with somebody who is, because they do have grants out there. Because Key just sent me the information about one, which Thomason and I tried for last year. But, you know, that's for at-risk kids, to do something with them, similar to what you're trying to do. So you plugging in, you just got to make your network.
Yeah. So just to touch on what you said, we had a meeting with the public safety director's office on Wednesday. So we sat down and talked with them and actually presented this program with them. And that's how we got the connection about the grant, because I feel like his name is Tom, it's in my notes. The guy who's kind of in charge of the funding program for at-risk kids in the public schools. We sat down and talked with him as well for a little bit, and he suggested.
It's still the one that you sent the other day.
Yeah.
The alderman. Yeah.
Yep. It's that one. So that's how I got the information. But we had a meeting with them on Wednesday and talked to them about this program. But I did want to allow him the space to talk with us, because we are a 501c3 underneath the SLPS. That's what ABA kind of follows up under. With that, so aligning with what he's doing and just bringing that underneath ABA, but that will involve us talking more into detail about it. I did send everyone that outline, but it's not fine-tuned to us yet. So this is his outline from when he first started the program. So it would obviously need to be adjusted and fine-tune it to what we're doing as well. But I did want to allow this space and opportunity for him to talk and present. And then we'll kind of regroup and talk about what we need from him, and so that he can get that together if we're deciding to take this on under ABA, but we'll have that conversation later. Is there any more questions? Yeah.
What you have written, what Key sent us is your proposal?
Yes and no. So this is from when he first started. He was actually, can you talk a little bit about when it first started and that connection?
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate all the feedback. That was about voter participation. So there's a Venn diagram inside of there that says civic responsibility plus voter participation and neighborhood cohesion is what's going to make the U-turn. So it was really all about voting turnout at first. You see what I'm saying? Getting either young folks or more of the city involved in the voting process of the city. So they need to make a U-turn, you know, you turn up to the poll, you turn up to the town hall meetings, you turn up to the to the poll, to the voting poll. So it was originally around voter participation and getting people more civically engaged in raising the voter turnout. So now I'm just kind of segueing into a behavioral health aspect and still taking the same concept of you turning that around.
And what you're doing can also go back and pick up the voter registration. You can talk about the sagging of the pants. You can talk about the importance
everything that you can turn around.
The importance of you being an intelligent human being that can take all of that. That's why I'm saying if you could make it more than a one-time deal, that you can continue to come back in, even if it's not you, but you bring in some people who are on the same page as you are, who have the same, you all are walking down the same path. Maybe you all can work something out to make something like that happen.
And you know, I just want to reiterate that it's not my way or the highway. You know, I just want to. That's why I'm glad to be at the table, because I like the 2-school challenge. You know, North Side versus South Side. I like the once a week, you know, thing every 30 days. You know, and maybe we can get a little coalition of people to come in and do something like that. So that's what this is. That's what this is for. It's almost like a trampoline, you know, just to bounce stuff off of.
I don't want something to be left out now.
And that's what I'm saying.
When would you be?
Out, right?
Yeah, don't leave something out. When would you be interested in starting something like this?
Well, the goal is to secure the funding first. Secure the funding first, so then that way we have the incentives on deck. And we don't want to tell them that we got something for them and we're still working on it. So for me, it would be about securing that first. We got to get the copyright and registration papers and stuff like that back from the state, just to make sure that, you know, we copyright and we own the rights to the U-turn STL project, and also get engaged with the incentives and getting our bulk orders and stuff like that made, because it's nothing like saying, I got this, you know, I got these for you, you know, I got them, you know, instead of just having them wishfully thinking. You know, we want to make sure we can deliver on this, because a lot of kids have tried to turn around things. They've tried to, you know, be a part of things, and what was promised to them was not delivered, you know. So we don't want to be that group.
Well, one thing, when I was teaching at Carlane, they had a Reebok something or other that we participated in, and we won, and everybody in the building got a pair of tennis shoes. And back then it was over 600 children, and with the staff, we got 700 pair of tennis shoes. I think they still, and that was in the 1990s. I think they still got some tennis shoes somewhere around there. So I know it's doable to get those shoes from those companies.
And we're trying to work with Nike and get something that they want. Not just Nike shoes, not just, you know, outlet shoes, you know, but I know ain't nobody gonna turn down no pair of Air Force Ones, all white, either low or mids or whatever, you know, like, and they already wearing uniforms. So why not give them a clean pair of shoes. You know, they can't really identify themselves other than the shoes because everybody's dressed just alike. So it's nothing like everybody kind of being on the same level. You know, you got kids that are getting bullied and harassed because they dress better. You know what I'm saying? So let's just give everybody an opportunity. You know, let's just give everybody a chance. And even those at risk, you know, youth who you think you just can't get through, sometimes a lot of kids just were never given a choice. You know, so let's give them a choice. And with all the counseling and mentoring and all that, maybe they will start, you know, kind of rising up out of that group, and we can see who we need to wrap around. You know, we can see who we need to tackle, who we need to target. You know, right now these counselors are trying to console all these kids, and I just believe that they're not getting to everybody. You know, it'll give us a chance to figure out who we need to target.
One other thing, would you be interested in coming to talk when I meet with the principal on Monday? Just to drop your hat in the ring. I'm meeting with him at 1:30. I'm gonna drop my name and number in the chat. And if you're available 1:30, because I'm looking to have some things happening. I would like to have some things happen in January.
My Monday is up in the air. I can't confirm that, but I know I can confirm Tuesday.
We already got it set up for Monday, but I'll drop your name if you don't mind.
Okay, well,
I can
I will
probably
do my
be
best.
there.
Okay.
I gotta check my schedule, but I can probably be there.
I'll do my best.
So do you
All right.
need, you need our help getting the funding? Is that
Well,
what you're
yeah,
saying as
well, yes, sir, because I'm not a 501c3. So for us to ask for $35,000, I would need a EIN number and that board that's going to help facilitate the funding and treasury and monitoring. Because I have no desire to be on the board. Like I'm too involved, like politically and stuff, and I don't want to lose that traction. You know, so you know, this is me just saying, hey, you know, I trust, you know, Kiera's. I know Kiera's trusts everybody she puts around her. And, you know, I can do the political part, which is get it out of public safety committee, which is put us in front of the public safety director, which is get the votes, you know, out of committee and have the name that alderman will say yes to. You see what I'm saying? So after that, as far as we have a budgetary person who's going to be submitting the budget. Key, I'm gonna send it to you as soon as they get done. And then other than that, we would just need a board to, you know, be accountable and make sure the treasury and stuff like that is situated, and all the logistics with the with what it takes to get this funding, you know, because I just don't know what comes behind it.
So we'll be just getting our points and stuff together so that Cedric can go back to his drawing board with his proposals that he has that can actually kind of mesh with us and what we're doing. So we'll have our requirements and things like that in his proposal, along with when he gets his budget breakdown, so that he can kind of have that proposal all put together.
And it's got to be turned in by Friday. So if they ask us to have a public safety hearing, or if they ask us to be at the hearing, then I would hope that the entire board will be able to attend that hearing. Because us being there, even virtually Zoom like this, us being there shows solidarity. And it's not CSharp showing up, you know, asking for something. So
yeah. So I'll have notes for you after our meeting, probably tonight or tomorrow morning, so that you can have like our questions and comments and stuff like that, so you can incorporate that into your new proposal. And then you'll have, I guess, that week to kind of put that together. Hasafi, did you have one more question?
Oh, but I have a contractor here that was supposed to be here at 11:30. So, and he's here. But my daughter's upstairs, but he's walking around, but I want to talk to him.
Okay.
And you're saying CSharp that is due by what are we saying? The 15th?
13th.
The what?
It's due by the 13th. We got to have a proposal in by the 13th.
So Wednesday of next week, of this upcoming week.
Okay, because I thought you said Friday, which would have been the 15th. Okay, so I'm just hoping we can kind of move this along because of the other business, and that knowing that you and he are communicating that, and you're telling me you can get back with him by this evening or whatever after we have our conversation, well, we could just kind of like wrap it up because I got to go talk to somebody.
That's good. And then Cedric, I'll be emailing you like our notes and questions and stuff from what they had. And then also just creating an email if you all have more questions or things that he could think about or anything. I'll just create an email thread for the board and Cedric, along with the notes and things that we had today. Sounds good? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Cedric. I'll be in touch.
Thank y'all.
Okay. And then, let's see. Okay, cool. And then Hasefi, do you have time to run through this, or should we schedule another time to regroup on it? Because our plan was to launch this next year, but to just get the ball rolling and ideas going, you can totally make that decision on.
Well, basically what you and I talked about is in summation in the email that we sent out. And so I think that we wanted to see if it even sounded like something that we as an advisory board want to consider doing. And in the event that it sounds like something that our ad hoc, that our committee, because we have a committee that really doesn't have a lot to do, and they all represent these various disciplines. I saw Dana Christian yesterday, and I talked to him. He was over. We talked a little bit, and he was talking about the projects that he was working on with Laya. He said he had just interviewed Thomasina, and that they would be looking for interns ever so often. So it's like we have people wanting interns, but we don't have maybe an administrative approach to who we have and where we're sending them and the accountability of it. So what we're trying to do is form an ad hoc committee, which is that committee specific. It's a specific work committee to work on a plan on how we structure our mentoring internship program, not just our internship program, but our mentoring internship program that we can possibly launch next year in September of 2022. So everybody has something to do. Everybody's in the midst of their semester. And so it wouldn't be an advisory board committee that's working on this. It would be an ad hoc committee of people who specialize in certain things, and certain, whether it's the robotics, whether it's Marlon, whether it's Glenn, or whether it's Lois, people who have some who already have their programs, some who would like to have programs, some who want to have people coming in, but they don't know what the procedure for it is. So that's what I'm looking at, whether or not the board think it's feasible, whether the board thinks it's something that we can do, because also we're going to work within the school system, but I would like for this particular mentoring internship to be also independent of. It has an autonomy of its own. I don't know all the possibilities. I have the information that you sent me, Key, with how what the board wants, and then what some other people want in terms of internships. I talked to STOTV a little bit, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have something in place." I'm like, "Okay, I ain't never really seen y'all activate it, but okay." But I do know I see y'all with interns. So I think there needs to be a strategized way of bringing all of these things together. And that's what I want to be able to see how we can package that. And that's what that ad hoc committee would do. And they set the frequency of the meeting, and then we start. And if it sounds like something that's good, we were talking about presenting it to them at the next committee meeting, which we were talking about maybe perhaps within the next week or the next 2 weeks or something like that, to see, because I can't do this by myself. I won't. I won't do it by myself. But all of the material is there. It's just a matter of gathering it, brainstorming, and coming up with a plan for it. And we got 12 months to do that. But we're gonna have to start looking for money before that because we have to have an operating budget. So that's, I would say, based on, what we put in the email, that's kind of encompasses, it's a broad stroke of what it is that I'm saying now and what I'm projecting. Can this be possible? And then in addition to just weighing in on the young man, Cedric, Kiara sent Babatu and I this week, and I'm saying this for, for Thomasina and Sandra, that, about that grant that's available, because is somebody talking? I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, my
Oh,
bad.
okay, because is that the one that's due also on the 13th, Kira's same
It's
grant?
it's a 15th. Yeah, it's the 15th.
Okay, that was the 15th. His is the 13th, but is it the
Mhm.
same?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, it's just that he made himself a deadline of the 13th.
yes.
Right. And so when Thomasina and I worked on it last year, it took that, for one, we never heard about back from them for a very, very long time until the summer was almost over. We had a week to pull it off, but it's a lot that's involved. And I know you asked, when you sent it to Murphy and I, does it sound like something that we can do? Because you had never done a grant before, and we're talking about by next week. I was trying to find what we sent last year. Thomasina might still have what we sent last year because they look for letters. They want your support letters. And whereas we may not be able to, in terms of this launching the mentoring internship program for next year, I think it's pretty far-fetched to say that we can do that by next week. Because I had to personally tell myself that I'm not committing to anything for the rest of this year, just for my own mental, spiritual self. I know that I had to say that. So, but I'm willing to, if the committee say, yeah, let's do some brainstorm session just to get to talking about it. Yes. To say that I can work on a grant, I can't. So I'm just being honest about that. However, this young man, if he's had his budget together and a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, he would need a letter from somebody like us as support. So I would say, if you want to look at that grant again, and if the board, us in agreement that, hey, that sounds like something that we support what he's talking about, which is basically kind of what we're saying anyway, that if he needed a support letter or whatever, some kind of way that we can work together with him, I think that it would be good if he applied for that grant. If they're ready and they got everything and their budget together, I think working with him, Kiara, because you're working with him anyway a little bit, it would give you an opportunity to look at what it is that they ask for. I mean, he's talking about kids who are at risk, I think, and then considering who we are in the St. Louis Board of St. Louis Public Schools, that they would stand a stronger chance than when Thomasina and I were doing it earlier this year. And this was our first time out. It was just like, hey, can we get this?
Like, yeah.
And we made it happen in a week, didn't we, Thomasina? In a week's time. And it was, so it's just that we were new.
Yeah.
We were new, but we got, got support of the Urban League and different people like that, And so that's how I want to weigh in on that part. I'm all for, if they could, and we say, we believe in what he's trying to do, I think that maybe we could get behind that. I just don't think that we, in terms of what I wanted to do with the mentoring program, would be in a position to try to approach that.
Do that. All right. So the what's on the table right now is for us to vote if we are going to support the program, and then if we're supporting the program, we will just be doing that because the deadline is so close. So they will have to be responsible of getting the proposal and outlines and things like that together, and we are just here as support and help to make sure they kind of have a baseline and a nonprofit to associate themselves with.
Right Right back, you all. I just need to see where he is. Did he leave or what? Okay.
Okay, all right. Murphy, did you have comments? And then we're gonna vote as soon as she gets back.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know,
I was gonna say, there's several things going on. It's a proposal he needs to get in, and wow, I don't see how we can be part of that in such a short time.
So the deadline for the grant is on the 15th. So I kind of sent you guys his proposal and outline that he already has,
I see
which it
that.
just needs to be updated to what we feel will be like any of our requirements or anything like that, to associate it with ABA. So we will not be doing any work on this proposal. It will be all him and his team doing the work. We will just be, hey, we're here as a support and this program is underneath ABA. So we're not doing anything outside of giving our input, the things that we would like in his rough, that is a proposal, but it's not the proposal for this. Like
Okay.
it still needs to be tweaked. So that's where we would stand on this. It's just, are we in support of this
Sounds like-
proposal?
Yeah. A letter
And
of
then,
support.
yeah, that's what we will be giving him, along with
Okay.
anything that we would like to be put into his proposal, that
Gotcha.
the outline that I sent you guys. So we,
Now I see it says create a U-turn, an illustrated guide.
mhm.
And it says opportunity for change, goals, priority, who we are, background information. So this sounds like something somebody would present to him. Is that making sense? Because I'm trying to see.
So this is, like I said, this needs to be tweaked and updated to what he just presented to you guys. Because this is
Okay.
from a program that he started. I forgot what year he said it.
Okay.
So it just needs to be updated to what he's doing now. But these are the main points and kind of an outline of his proposal and things like that. So everything is pretty much broken down.
In other words, this is something he would say, hey, if you want to work with us, here's how you can join.
No, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's not making sense.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
So
I don't understand.
okay, so all we will be doing is saying, yes, we would support this program if he can get his proposal updated and together to us before his deadline, which is on Wednesday, the 13th, for us to review.
Okay.
What we'll be doing today is voting like, yes, we will be in favor if all these things are in motion and in place on his end for us to review before the 13th and say like, yeah, we're going to be a part of this program. That's what this will be. Yes.
Okay, so is he gonna be able to get something back to us prior to Wednesday?
Yes.
review?
So that is what we're talking about now. So if he can have all that together and back to us before Wednesday, so we can actually review it and give a like, yes, like we'll vote today, but once we actually have something in front of us, we can actually confirm that vote of yes, we're going to continue this, or no, we're not going to, and we'll just wait until another day. So this is just for that grant. And I think you mentioned to me, Hasefi, about like when grants are starting to roll out and due and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be another one. So the timeline and crunch and stuff, if we feel like this is too tight of a crunch, we do not have to vote on this and support it for right now for this grant. And he can have more time to work on anything that he would need to work on, and we can also have more input on anything else. So this is what we're deciding today, if we're going to vote yes to support this program And then he'll send an email with the updated proposal for us to review before Wednesday, because the grant deadline is on the 15th. If we're not going to support it right now until we actually can see something in front of us and go over it in details, we can also do that. Or we can just say no too, sorry. That is also an option as well. So at this time, I shall make a motion to first voting if we are in support of bringing this program under ABA. All in favor, say aye.
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 1, 2, 3. 3 ayes. Hasefi?
You're muted. You're muted.
Would you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah.
So this is a voting to say that ABA is in support of this program, moving forward and wanting to bring them under us. So this is just that part. And the second part will be about the deadline.
Oh, if their program aligns with our, okay.
Yes.
So I think that there's probably 2 votes.
Yes.
Or 2, because I think that one, we should be addressing whether or not we want to support them via a support letter for the upcoming grant. And that doesn't require us to say, yes, we're going to take them on up under our umbrella at this point, because there's more that, we need to get from them. However, in saying that we want to support them via a support letter means at least we have listened to him today. We believe in his concept and his vision. And because of that, because that's what our letter will say, that, that we support, so that it doesn't give it a definitive, because we need to see more things about a definitive of whether it comes under ABA. You know what I mean? So your motion just now was about taking them under, and I think it's too soon to make a commitment to say without all the supporting information, yes, we want to do that right now. But I would like to entertain a motion about just supporting them in general through a letter for this grant round until we can get
Okay. So then we'll make a motion for Hasefi's proposal, which is just us voting yes or no for a support letter at this time. And then we'll hold off on more of that program actually coming under ABA until we see some more things right in front of us to actually go through and have more time. So right now I'll make a motion to, if you're in favor for supporting the U-Turn project, as a grant supporting letter for their deadline on the 15th. If you're in favor, we can all say aye.
Aye.
And then not in favor, say nay. Okay, so I have 4 ayes. Wait, Hasefi, did you vote? Okay, sorry. Okay, and then right now we're also I'm gonna put this motion on the table of us taking on the U-Turn project program underneath ABA right now as a motion, if we're going to do that now or later. So I'm going to put this on a motion if we're going to take them under our wing as of right now. All in favor, say aye. And then if you are not in favor, say nay.
Nay.
Okay.
Nay.
And then those requirements right now for us, it would be more time for something to be right in front of us to go more into details and figure out how ABA and this program will actually work together in this space. So yes, thank you all for your time. I know it's a lot. We've been on for a little bit. I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover. Please take a time to review the email from Hasefi about the mentoring program, and we'll just when I set up this meeting, we'll probably have another meeting before our actual committee meeting to talk about what we need. Like Hasefi mentioned, like those specific roles that everyone on our actual committee can be involved in with the mentorship program. I'm also going to send out a draft of somewhat of an outline structure for internship under ABA. I think I sent that to you, Sefi, but I haven't sent it to I haven't sent it to anybody else yet because I keep changing it for different organizations that I'm doing. But I'll also send that email out. I'll send all this stuff out to everyone by tomorrow evening. So that you guys can review it yet again and go over just some stuff that we talked about. And then Sonda, I'll send you my notes that I took, which are all over the place. Good luck with that. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns?
More.
Yeah.
I just want to say there is this program called Learn and Earn in St. Louis Public Schools. It officially starts second semester, but they're signing people up now. They're signing students up, and they're also signing up agencies that will receive these students. So what does that mean? The school district is going to be paying $15 an hour for students to work at an internship site. So it's a paid internship site. They're saying it's for all seniors for the whole second semester.
Can you please send a documentation of that so I can actually, and I can get that out to everybody?
I'll send you the information that we have on that. Yeah, and the contact person.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's no more questions, comments, or concerns, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting for today, October the 9th.
Hold on.
Okay.
So this that starts in next semester.
Right.
So is that going to come from a pool of ABA interns, or I mean,
whoever we can find really at this point. We have students in school now who will be, eligible and will be available. So I'm just saying that's an incentive. And literally, they don't want the kids to even come into the school buildings if there's somewhere else they can go and be working in an internship. So I think that's a perfect opportunity to get our kids where, as many places as we need them to be. This is like perfect, it's all day long,
Yeah.
all
So
or all during the, I mean, because see, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about when we're talking about
organizing and
having money available and where they're getting paid, and then the second arm of that is so that mentors can start getting paid.
Exactly.
So we have to have, or are we talking about, after school? Are we talking about weekends? Because
so it wouldn't be through us. So this is another program. So all we would do, which is something that we also talked about, is like not just sending students who are not capable, who are not responsible, and not putting ourselves in that position. But we do, it's kind of like a flyer. This is what it is. Like, this is information that we can put out to our students and things like that. But as far as like us actually recommending and sending students somewhere, we will hold off on that. This is just all like information that will be put out through us to maybe some connections on our Facebook and things like that. So it's not running through us like we're talking about with the internship program, because it's already its own program. All we will be doing is, if we feel confident enough to send some students that we know can do the job and we back them up, we'll just send them on their way. It's nothing through us.
Okay. So logistically, how do you get your students to be a part of that, Babatu?
Okay, we have to identify the organization or place where they would work at, and that's where we have to establish a memorandum of understanding with that entity. And that has to be coordinated with
Like their program and then
person
the,
in charge of that program. In other words, he's involved in setting up, say, okay,
Dr. Henning, Dr. Henning.
yeah,
Mhm.
Josh Henning is the
Mhm.
one
Who's
who
over it.
I'll get, I'll basically talk with him and get from him what he needs. So you could go to, whoever, HK, whoever is out there that actually has a program going on that can
Use an
use
intern.
interns. Um, he needs to know who those people are, and then he can direct students, to those persons.
yeah.
So in other words, if you know somebody that can use an intern, get that information to Murphy.
Right.
And that Dr. Henny can
Well.
have a student working there next semester.
Right. If
Yeah.
they need an intern,
So
if they need an intern,
please,
he can pay for it.
Yeah.
so please, board members here and those who are not here today, look at the email and just at your own pace, respond and let
Okay.
me know what you thinking about what's possible and what's not possible. Weigh in, so that we can wrap up today's meeting, but we can also just see, how do you feel about what's written there? And does this sound like something that we need? Because so what's the point of it? What's the why? I have a why, but do you agree with the why? It's
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So just look at it and let us know so that if we're gonna move forward, Kiers can start looking at and we can start identifying, and you all identify who who you think would be really good from our committee of people that the 35 people that we have that's out there just wanting to know, oh, what do you want us to do other than just come and listen? What can
Okay.
we do? Let's brainstorm and do this. So that's what I'm asking of you, okay?
Yes. And if you guys can look at that email and try to respond by like tomorrow evening, that would be great so that we can just get this going. I am just like, let's get all the questions and things going so the conversation can be had. Yes, Thomasina.
Is this the email from you that mentions about Hasefi, or is this the email Hasefi sent?
This is the email from me. So it's the advisory board committee meeting October the 9th. It's that email. And then, so you'll look over that email and try to respond to me by tomorrow evening. And then I'll be sending out an email from this meeting I'm going to attach that paragraph as well to it, and just the bullet points and things that we talked about to hit on the head. And then we'll schedule another meeting for us before our speaking days on the 20th. So I'll probably schedule another meeting with us next week.
No, it's the one that Kiara sent out that says Hatsefi and I have been meeting, and this is what Hatsefi said.
Right. I'm
That's the
reading
one
it
I'm
right
talking
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's but she said you sent it, and I got confused because I
Yeah.
have an email from you.
Yeah. So it was, she sent it to me and then I sent it to everybody.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. If there are any more questions or things, I know it's a lot. We went through a lot today, but we're thinking about the future and just motions and just continuing to move on and trying to do it in the best organized and structured way. If there's no questions, comments, or concerns, I will make a motion to adjourn our meeting right now at 12:07. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Awesome.
the three of us are